Good afternoon, everyone. Um, I'm great to be here. My name is Ngazetungue Muheue. I'm from Windhoek, Namibia. Um, that's my Twitter handle. If you want to talk to me, that's my email. If you want to ask more about Python Namibia, okay. I'm a Python programmer of all days and nights. I do programming. I started doing programming 2014. I started with Python and do programming in Python. I'm a Django community leader in Namibia, and I'm a co-founder of Python Namibia, and I'm a computer science student at the University of Namibia, and I'm a web developer, a Python and Django instructor of Python Namibia, and I'm an organizer of Python Namibia since day one. The brief history about me, as you can see, I'm off in car accident, and I had a spinal cord injury, a C2 fracture on my neck. And beside all these things, I'm coming from the remote area of Great Konene, and not from the city. I was raised in Great Konene. Konene region is the region where most of marginalized people are coming from in Namibia. And after car accident, I've been in the hospital for 9 months without moving. And I had issue with all these things like doctor, nurses trying to help me doing things and these kind of things. Then I was telling them, I hope one day I will recover from this. I feel like I have to do something so that I can help myself. If I find myself I'm not moving, if I find myself I'm not talking, at least I should come up with even an application that will help me. That's where the whole dream started. I did talk to my mom. Luckily, when I moved in car accident, by the time I finished my high school, I talked to my parents. I tried to convince them. It was hard. You know, in black community, if you are living with a disability and you are talking about schools, there is that things. You know, who is going to help you? Who is going to do this? Who is going to do what? But I refused. I went to Windhoek. I lied to my mom that I'm going to see my doctor for medication. Because I know the other year I did apply to the University of Namibia, I was accepted. I was just talking to them like this. Only some few guys from the family knew about this. But I went to the university. When I came there, I had no money. I went to the office of the Prime Minister. I talked to them. I said, yes, this is my paper. I got accepted at the university, and I need money. You know, government budget story, I told them, I'm not going anywhere. What I need is just money to go to the university, finish. Luckily, they listened to me, they gave me money. I registered at the University of Namibia. And I studied there registered for computer science. I got my first qualification. From there, and my first language was Python. I'm more into Python. I'm not hiding this. That's where the whole thing started. Your background does not define who you are. We all know where we came from. We do have people who want to learn programming, but they need your support. Our people need us. We need to change them. We need to change the way they think. And we need to go back to our people and teach them Python. Complex codes does exist, but we do solve them. We don't get the situation. You can be in Ghana, bring your code, we can solve it. If you are in beginner, don't mind. You can solve it one day. The birth of Python in Namibia. I say thanks to Python Software Foundation for this. I say thanks to Phoenix Project of Kurdish University and the University of Namibia for bringing Python into our country. We know what we are, but do not know what we may be. All of us here, we want to become a programmer, but we don't know what future holds for us. Some of us, we are beginners, but maybe what you are saying that, I'm going to become like a data scientist. Tomorrow you'll be a web developer. Python Namibia started in 2015. It was a collaboration of Cardiff University in UK and the University of Namibia. And that's how the whole thing started. During that conference, we decided to come together to start the society or the organization called PyNam. PyNam actually is a Python Namibia society. The word Python is just Python Namibia. So that we can organize and monitor all Python activity within a country. We sit together, we set up our own structure to suit everyone, teacher, learners, parents, and the society itself. We get our own executive member, then everything started. Yes, still, we set up our own things, our society started working, but we have PyCon Namibia. PyCon Namibia actually is organized by the community member and some international friends. One thing about PyCon Namibia, Namibia is a very small country, surrounded by a desert. We are 2.5 million people live in Namibia. I think there are 400 or 500 people live in the city, in Windhoek. We can talk about the remote area. Our conference is mostly attended by women. 50% of our participants are women and young ones, people from high school, because in our curriculum, we set up our curriculum in such a way that it can accommodate everyone. High school learner, people from the community, parents, and us. It involves scholars. Scholars, people from high school. The good thing about Namibia is a beautiful holiday destination. That's where you find ocean meet desert. That's where you find a second canyon in the world, Fish River Canyon. That's where you find a Death Valley, where everything ends. These are the executives of our society, and these are the people who run most of our activity. Only some of them, they are not around. They are also organized our PyCon Namibia, and some other people from the community. We are all volunteer and not paid for this. Alliance of Python in Namibia. I'm talking about Python in Namibia. Okay. When we set up our own PyNam society or the group, we decided that because when we started teaching people the basic stuff. Then later on, we realized that many people, all of us, we have desire. Some people want to become a developer. Some people want to become data scientists. Some they want to go to a machine learning type of things. Then we decided to come up with different groups. And we have our strongest group, which called PyNam Scholars. This is our weapons. That's why people are saying that Namibia performing well in Python. These are the people that we use. These are the young ones. We believe that there's no future without young ones. In whatever you are doing, you have to involve young people. In this conference, next year or the other year, we want to see young people from the high schools. Those are our generations. We do have in Django, Namibia, that was I know we fight for this. I talked to executives about this Django Namibia, I think for 2 years, trying to convince them so that we can have a Django community within our country. And really, they accepted my request. I ran that Django Namibia. Django girls, we can talk about Django girls. We know it's all over. during our conference, and we used to have our own meetup and workshop. A software and data carpentry, actually this one's for academic research, mostly read by Jessica. In pipelines, we have a PyLAT, Pynam Artificial Intelligence, and Pyn Data that will be, we set up those groups next month. Pynam Scholars, I said that that's our strongest weapon that we have. It's a subgroup of Pynam Society. It was established 2016. It's managed by Pynam and school learners. 8 schools involved into this. More than 78 learners register for Pynam Scholars. The Pynam Scholars have their own executive team. It learns their own things. They have their own structures. What we do, we just monitor them. Do this and do this and do this. These people, what they do is that they come up with a different project, then actually we introduce them to the real life project. We're teaching them the basic. We bring in like the real life project, they work on that. They got the opportunity to see the real life project. This is the editor of Pynam Scholars. This is a high school learner, and he's the one who's leading a Pynam Scholars. And he's one of the ladies that involved. He's a speaker now, because he take part in a PyCon conference at PyCon Namibia. He give talks, but he's still at high schools. I think all of us here, we are here to give talks. Django Namibia, actually what we do here, we organize like a week whereby we teach Django the whole week, and sometimes we give one-to-one tutorials, kind of like people are sending us a message, and we call them, we organize everything, we teach them Django. Django girls, that one is every week. Effect about this challenge and the way forward. Computer Day and Python Week of Code. A Computer Day is kind of a program that we have started, whereby all different schools from Namibia come together and do work on different projects, and and then after that we choose the best a project. Then these people, they win everything. And these things encourage young people to come forward, encourage young ones of different schools to give us learners so that we can teach them Python. Because learners, they have that thing saying that, okay, because there is something, I'm going to learn Python. At the end of the day, I'm going to come up with a project. Then this project, I will take it back to the community, which means that these people, they involve in all community activity. And it helps us to grow Python in our country. Actually, the Python Week of Code, actually, it's involved people from the industry as well, and the university. And also, I talk about the programming competition here. These are the different projects that some of these learners have worked on. It's kind of like using a Raspberry Pi, sending messages to people using one of our service provider. Actually, just work with a Raspberry Pi and some few things. It's their stuff. It's their stuff. Okay. It's not about Pynam Scholar. We do have a Python community outside our society. We do have other people from the community that run their own stuff about Python. Mostly web development and data science, academic research, and high schools, because in some university, they start teaching Python now. You see, all these people, they know of us. They always calling us to come forward and also help them to get and guide them, and we are willing to do that. We don't really give up, because we know these people, they come up with these groups. Sometimes some they make money out of it, but we don't mind. We want to grow Python within a country. We don't really mind about that. And these things, like, in case if you have your own society and there's other people outside your society that need your help, please go. Don't say that you guys, you don't belong to us. What we need just to grow Python within our community. Please. What make it possible? Teamwork. This is one of the important things if you have a society, if you want to start your society. You can have 5 people. People come with a different agenda. And some people will be in your society and tell you that, okay, we want to make money. We are not here to make money. We are here to teach people. You find some people saying that, no, because you want us to go and teach people, please let's try to charge people about this. In Python Namibia, we don't do that. If we get money from people, we make sure we use their money for their own goods. We buy things that will benefit them. Trust. One thing that when you are dealing with a Python community and a Python scholars, you have to create that relationship between parents, learner, and the school. Without parents, you are not going to do anything. Without parents, you will never bring those kids to your events. You need to create that relationship. Without that relationship, you will never going to have a Python scholar in your country. Commitment. We committed for this. We say yes to this. And every time, we are there for them. Workshop, meetup, and hack night, I think this one is known. International friends, if we need help, we talk to them, we call them, and they helped us. And we involve in this mailing list, Python mailing list. Please do so to also help you to grow Python in your community. Because you get advice from other people from different country or background. The school outreach programs, it also helps us because there you go out and you talk to different schools, and that's the only way that you are going to get people to come and join your society. And that is the only way to go and talk to different schools so that they can start their own Python scholar. Challenge, lack of resources. Actually, this is everywhere in Africa. You go to the schools, these people have nothing. Then we end up using our own computer to teach them Python. Mindset, our industry was dominated by Java. People, they still have that things in their mind. What is Python? Commitment. Wherever you go, you can have 100 executive members. Maybe sometimes only 2 will show up to events. If your people are not committed, you will never go anywhere. Lack of support. If you don't have support from your own government, you will suffer from this. Sometimes you need money, like now we are going to have a Python week of code and we need transport. Our government is not enough, we have to pay for this. People are traveling from different towns to come to the city, and we have to get this from our own pocket, and also we have to write to the Python Software Foundation to get money for this. Because we are here for our people, and we can't leave people like that. The way forward, a pilot next month. We are going to start a pilot next month. We are planning to have a Python hub in our country because currently now we are running our activity at the university. We are using university venue, and we don't like that. Sometimes we want to teach people are telling you, no, we have our own classes, we have our own meeting, these kind of things. And we feel like we should have our own Python hub, whereby it's kind of like academic things, and people are just coming and we teach them, we give them classes. That's all. Building school lab, that's our main aim. Every school that started a Python Scholar, we provide them with a lab. Either 2 computer or 3 or computer or 5 computer, we don't care, as long as you're using Python. Building Django community, that's my work. I know if it is failed, please ask me. Python Namibia 2020, it will be in Windhoek. For more information, you can go to our website, and also Python Namibia website. I think everyone knows this one, Enrique. Enrique is from Germany, Italy, and he lives in Germany. Yeah. And it was taken, he was one of our speakers last year. This picture was taken at that very end of everything. It's our desert, and we call it dead. Everything that grows there is dead. This is a dead valley that we are talking about. And we will love to see you guys at Python Namibia 2020. Thank you, Ghana. Thank you, everyone. You guys have any questions?
Thank you so much, Muheue.
Yeah.
Yes, please, some questions. I'll pass the microphone over. And we have just a couple of moments for questions, but let's see if we can get a few in.
Thank you for your talk and
Yeah.
your contribution. And I will tell you, I shared some experience with you based on the fact that all of the challenges you mentioned applies exactly to us too, and it's an African thing. However, I noticed you talked of building a Python hub. How are you going to do that? Because you already mentioned not getting help from your government. Well, you talked about getting help from PSF. How are you going to do that? Because I'm looking at the fund that is going to be involved in doing such a thing to be huge. Can you please tell us how you intend to achieve such?
Can't get it well. Can you speed up your...
Okay, I said, how do you intend going about building a Python hub that you talked about? Because you already mentioned about not getting the help of your government, and then you talked about getting help from PSF, but then I know that building a hub, which is a house, and equipping it with some computers is a huge amount of fund involved. How do you intend to go about getting such fund?
The data that we have now, we feel like our aim, we want to have like kind of, we have like kind of, let me say put like a school whereby we are going to teach Python. And for that matter, like in that case, if we are learning our own tutorial, people are going to pay for this, and we are generating money out of this. That's one thing that we are planning. Okay. Another thing is that when we are organizing like a Python week of code, a Python week of code is it's kind of a conference for local people, which means people buy a ticket for this. And when people buy a ticket, the money that we are getting, we are taking back to the community. We don't, like us, we don't get paid for this. We do these things for free. Since 2015, I never get any cent from Python Namibia. I spend my own money. I have to go around and don't get paid for this. And the little money that we get, we take it back to the society. That's how we do. We always, like we used to organize our own events without any money from even our own people. But we get these people from other town and we pay for them to come and attend our events, our meetup, our workshop. Our aim is just to teach Python. We don't care.
Any other questions for Muheue? Muheue, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
The capital city in Namibia has only a few, I think 200,000 or 300,000 people living in it, and the population is spread over rural areas. So how can Namibia face this challenge of having a very thinly distributed population when, of course, it's much easier if everybody is together?
You know, one thing that's why we decided to come up with our Pan-Am Scholar, because we know that there's no way that the school is moving from one town to another, which means that we use like a teachers. We get a teacher from different schools. These are the people who are behind all the scholars in different schools, which means that every time when we want to communicate to them, we go through teachers. I think your question then?
Well, I'm wondering about the challenges that Namibia's geography makes for your plans, which
Yes.
with huge distances between everything.
That is one of the biggest challenges that we have in our country, because our country is kind of isolated. Let me say that. It's very small, but towns are far from each other. Let me say, if you're hosting like events in Windhoek, and people have to travel 800 kilometers, 800 kilometer, and it's a big challenge. And you have to use money for this. We need them. Those guys, they said that we open a Panam Scholars, but you are the one who created that problems, and you have to deal with that problem. That is a big challenges. Money to bring these people to us is one of the problems that we face in our country. And another problems in our country, many of our people live in remote areas. We don't have access to electricity. We don't have access to the internet. And sometimes it's also hard to deal with these things. People want to learn Python, but they have nothing. Now you have to talk to parents and say, can you try, maybe this place looks very smart. If you move him to town and, just trying to make things work there, to move people from this town to another town so that where you are going to have access to them, where you are going to be able to talk to them or use them.
Thank you very much, Muheue. Muheue is going to be around. I don't think we have time for other questions now, although since I don't see any sign of people arriving, if somebody does have a question, I think we can sneak at least.